You're listening to the Empowering Process podcast with your host, Gail Kraft. Listen as she holds frank discussions around how your purpose, being present, and trusting your power impacts your life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, leader, or developing your vision, you'll find wisdom and insights you can utilize right now. Welcome your host, Gail Kraft.
Wait.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Gail Kraft from the Empowering Process podcast. And I have with me always, as always, another amazing guest. And this is Jenny, and I'll get your last name, Harkleroad.
You got it. Harkleroad. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And she is here, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about chronic pain and transitioning through that. She's got quite a story to share, but let me tell you a little bit about her. Jenny is the #1 best-selling author. She's a speaker, she's a mind change coach, and she's a teacher. She's the owner of A Balanced You, founder of Summit Transformation, the managing director of Women Networking in San Diego, which is a huge national organization, and the director of communications and public affairs for 12 congregations of her church. She's also a mother of 4, and which is her greatest claim to fame. And she built her business in San Diego over 13 years, producing double digits in the millions, lots of money, doing what she loves best. But before that happened, it wasn't all that great at first, was it, Jenny?
Not so great.
Not so great. So I certainly don't have the story that you have, and I certainly so I want you to share that with folks. But we all have these moments, these transition moments in our life where something happens that throws us off our game, right? And we have a choice at that point in time to be the victim, right? And I allow you all to have a pity party for like 30 seconds, right? Be the victim, right? Or get out of victimization and look for, okay, so now what do I do? How do I make my life meaningful? And so, Jenny, I am going to turn this over to you because your story is amazing about healing, physical, emotional, psychological, you name it. Thank you for your time, Jenny. Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Gail. And I'm excited to share my story and so excited to be on the good side of it, on the happy side of it. So that's the best part about it. So, like you said, we kind of get these messages that we need to make some changes, we need to do something, we can be in a pity party, but how do we change things? And in my life, there was a lot of unhappiness and I ignored it. I completely ignored it, swept it under the rug. I was like a drill sergeant with myself and just said, you put on a happy face and you go make money and you go do your best. And who cares what you feel like on the inside? And the reason I was like that is because, well, a few different reasons. One, I just didn't know how to solve it because when I had been to a therapist or a doctor or, an Eastern medicine professional or like everything that I did helped temporarily, and then I would immediately slide back to my same old thing. So I felt like there wasn't a solution. So I'm like, forget it then. I'm just going to ignore it and press forward. And as you know, you can't do that. And I did it for decades. And what it caused in me was chronic pain. So I actually got put on prescription painkillers when I was 12 years old. And so, yeah, I've had a history of chronic pain. And when I was in my 30s, I had surgery for endometriosis, and then I had a full hysterectomy trying to get rid of that. And it seemed like whatever pain problem I had, I went through like years of migraines, whatever it was, when I would finally figure that out and solve that problem, it would be some other pain problem. So then here comes August 10th of 2013, where I'm standing on this mountain ledge with my husband, and we've been hiking and camping, and he says, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here. Well, I'm young and in shape, I thought. And so I jumped, and when I landed, I heard a crunch in my back, and I couldn't move. And he was like, get up, walk it off. You're okay. I was like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like, literally, I started screaming, and this is a true story. Vultures started circling me. Like, that was the kind of scream that was coming out of me. And so he called 911, and they sent in a ground crew, which, gosh, it took forever, right? I'm watching them hike through the mountain. I can see them from up on the ledge that I'm on. And they get to me and they're like, you need life flight. I'm like, you think? Yes. Okay. So life flight comes, the doctor zip lines down from a hovering helicopter. They strap me to a board. They pull me up. They pump me with morphine. Thank goodness for morphine. And the next thing I remember is I'm in the hospital and they're telling me I'd broken my back. And I was like, wow, does that mean I can't go to Ashtanga yoga tonight? Like, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, thankfully you're not paralyzed, but it's like any broken bone. It's going to take some time to heal. And because it's your back, you're going to be laying around for a while. And like you mentioned in my bio, I had a busy life going. I had a big real estate company. And again, these 4 kids that were younger then. So busy, busy, busy. And at that time, I was running the women's organization of my church and doing service in my community and exercising like a crazy person because I always wanted to be in shape. So I was just busy. And it was like, well, now you're not. Now you're stuck in bed. And I had some thinking time. And I thought,
Don't you just love the thinking time?
no,
No, face yourself.
I didn't like it at all. I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of deleting everything off my calendar. I still did a lot of faking it because my real estate clients were still calling me. And I was answering from bed, pretending I was fine and sending my real estate team to go handle the work because I couldn't move. But you know what I thought? I thought, okay, I need to fix my life because I'm not physically, I'm always something's wrong with me. And here we go again. Now my back is broken. I can't really fake that I don't have a broken back if someone sees me. I can fake it on the phone. My marriage is awful and I don't know how to fix it. We've been doing date nights. We've been working on our communication. We've been seeing a therapist. We've been praying. Like, what more do we need to do? How do we fix this relationship? I didn't like my real estate company, my job, how I was making all this money. I kind of fell into it and then the market went crazy and the money went crazy and I got swept up and like, oh my gosh, I went from a stay-at-home mom to, making $250,000 a year or more, like immediately. This is kind of fun. And so I just thought, gosh, this stuff isn't bringing me joy. What do I need to do to be joyful? Why am I not happy inside? I mean, for 20 years, I've been looking in the mirror saying I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm terrific, but I'm not. What gives? Right? And the kicker, I told you I like to be in shape. How am I going to stay in shape when I can't move? I'm stuck in bed. Oh my gosh, Gail, what am I going to do with myself? So yeah.
I love the fact that you mentioned that you were working with affirmations. I
Yeah.
have a love-hate relationship with them
Yeah.
because you were lying to yourself
Right.
and your subconscious knew that you were lying to yourself. And so it just doesn't believe you anymore. So it's very dangerous if you're using affirmations, folks, that you don't believe are true. So
Yeah.
go back to your broken back story. This is just fascinating. I'm going back on mute.
Yeah. And well, I'm going to give you an example of what you just said. Okay. Your subconscious controls a lot of things, like your eyes blinking. My eyes are blinking right now. I'm not trying to blink my eyes. They just blink whenever they want to blink. Right. But I can consciously control it. Right. I'm not blinking right now. But how long can I not blink? Until I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next. And then my system defaults to my subconscious program of blinking. And so that's how an affirmation is. You say it, you stop the blink. But as soon as you lose your focus, you blink again. And then you're like, how come this won't soak in? Like you said, because it's not changing the subconscious program. It's just consciously saying a wish or a goal, right? Okay. So back to my story. So, I had all these things I wanted to fix in my life, but, my back was kind of top of the list. Like I need to be able to move again. And so as time went on, I started to gain mobility. But the problem was, as the mobility came back, the pain increased. And the more I could move, the more pain I was in. And so, what did I do? I saw, acupuncture and physical therapy, and I did pool water aerobics with all the old ladies. Like I tried to do all the things to start to heal. But the pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So a year after I broke my back is when I started taking the pain pills the hospital gave me originally. Like at first it didn't hurt that much. I just couldn't move. But now I can move, but it hurts really bad. So I'm taking the pain pills. I think I slept an entire month because when I started taking them, it just knocked me out. Like I missed a whole month, like February, whatever that year was, 2014 maybe. Like I don't even remember that month. I just slept through it. But then my body acclimated a little, and I did what I always do, tried to pretend I was fine and pop pain pills and do stuff. And I couldn't sit. So anyone who knew me back then, they would see me standing everywhere. If I needed to drive somewhere, I would pay somebody to drive me. I'd be laying in the back of the car on ice packs. I mean, I was miserable, but I would go in and say, "Hey, how's everybody? Yes, I can sell your $1 million house," right? And then I go home and cry. And I'm like, I have to change this, but I don't know how to change it. So another year goes by. We're now at 2 years. Same thing, popping pain pills, pretending I'm fine, burning chronic pain. And so I decide, because I'm so smart, I need to have surgery because clearly there's something structurally wrong with my back. And so I wait and go see the top surgeon in San Diego, and he says, I don't know, it doesn't really look that bad. Like you should not be feeling how you feel right now. And I said, no problem. I'll go get someone else to do the surgery. Thank you very much. Right? So I did. So I got rods and screws and a synthetic disc and came home on a walker and a back brace. And 7 months later, can't sit, can't drive, can't function, burning pain, and now I'm all screwed together, so I can't twist. You know what? My back popped the other day for like the first time since this surgery in 2015. I was like so excited. I moved enough that a pop happened. I mean, it's ridiculous. So what am I going to do? The doctors say, there's nothing more you can do. I mean, you've done all the natural stuff. We've done the surgery. We'll just keep giving you pain pills. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is miserable. Like, the pain pills, like, make it kind of bearable. It doesn't make it go away, right? So how do you live like this? And they're like, well, you're just going to have to learn. And I'm like, this is like telling a woman in labor, you're just going to be in labor the rest of your life. It'll be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Right? And so I went searching for answers and I just started asking everybody. I will do it. A rain dance, woo woo, voodoo, whatever. Like, what have I not tried? So I'm introduced to this medical doctor, Dr. Warren Jacobs. He literally lived like a mile from my house. It was the craziest thing. And he used muscle testing. Now, most medical doctors don't use muscle testing. But I was familiar with a muscle test because I grew up with a chiropractor father who did muscle testing. And so what I saw from muscle testing as I grew up is he would have his patient hold up an arm, and then he would run his fingers down their spine. And with his other hand, he would try to press their arm down. And where there was a subluxation, a disc out of alignment, they couldn't hold up their arm. So he would adjust the spot, touch it, they could hold up their arm. Like, he didn't even use an x-ray machine after a while because their body would tell him where it was out of place and he could take care of it. Then if they said something like, I have digestive issues, he'd say, hold this supplement. And he would test their arm. Like, does your body want this one? If their arm would go down, well, don't take that one. Hold this one. Oh, okay, your body wants that one. So I knew muscle testing in that way, but I didn't know it in the way this medical doctor used it with me, which was asking my body, why are you in pain? Because I assumed something is still wrong with my back. They missed something in the surgery. I even went back to the surgeon and said, you got to do it again or go, like, you missed something, right? And he's like, I don't think so. Looks pretty good. So this doctor asks my system with a muscle test, what's wrong? And my system tells him it's emotional pain. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I recited my affirmations. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm terrific. I just can't sit, can't drive, can't function. Right. And he says, well, emotional pain can cause physical pain. And so if you're not willing to deal with your emotional pain, well, there's the door. And I was like, oh, all right, all right, all right, all right. So he says, tell me about your childhood. And I said, no, I don't talk about that. And he says, tell me about your marriage. I said, no, I don't talk about that either. And he said, I thought you don't have emotional pain. And I said, I don't. And he's like, well, I think you might be repressing it. You think?
I was
So,
just going to say that. You think?
so then he rolled out the box of the case of Costco Kleenex while I cried a river of everything I'd been holding in for 40 whatever years, And guess what? When I left, I did not feel any better. And I thought, well, that didn't work. And he said, do you want to come back? And I said, not really, but I will. And so I came back and I did it again, and I didn't feel any better. I actually felt worse because I'd stirred up all this stuff I'd been repressing. And I came back again, and I came back again, and I came back again, and I came back again because I wanted to give it a good try, right? Like my arm, I could feel my body saying, this is emotional pain causing this tension in your body. And if you can release this tension, the pain will go away. I could feel my body saying that with a muscle test. So I knew there was something to it, even though it wasn't working yet. So I was trying to be patient. But on the day after the 6th session, my pain disappeared like a light switch off. It was gone. It was completely gone. And I thought like, oh, nobody touch me. Right. Don't turn. It might come back. It might turn back on. It never came back on. And I went back to him and I said, this is a miracle. Thank you. Now, can you help me with all my problems? Because I'm taking pain pills and I'm not in pain.
Right.
And I didn't even know I was addicted to them till last week when you helped me get over my pain. But now I keep going for the pills. And he says, give me your arm. Let's see why you're taking them. Right. Turns out I'm taking the pain pills to numb myself from my marriage. I was like, what? That is crazy. I literally never took another pain pill after that moment. Of course, I went through withdrawals and freaked out for a week. However, I was able to do it because I understood why I was taking them.
Right.
Right. And I was ready to deal with my life. And so my belief after my experience and working with so many clients over the years is that pain is caused by tension in the body, and tension is caused by suppressed emotions. Now, I've created a process a little different than this doctor's where you don't have to dig through so much like he did. His process totally works, and I'm so thankful for it. But sometimes you can skim over a little bit of that and still repattern the brain, and that's what I like to do. Changing the subconscious, like you said, so you no longer have to say the affirmation because you're not trying to be that way. You now are that way.
Right. Exactly. And, Jenny, so many people just don't understand how powerful the mind is. We are emotional beings, and I like to say we are energy, we are molecules, we are atoms, right? And those have little electrodes going on. That's energy in motion. That is emotion. We are energy in motion, and our brain is the steering wheel, right? Right. And our subconscious does 95% of the work.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if we allow that to just go willy-nilly, it's going to keep you safe, it thinks. Right. Because what kept you safe in moment A does not work in moment B.
Right.
Right. And that's where, when we start to realize that, right, and we start to grasp that we can change that. I was talking with someone the other day who's got some serious trauma. I said, I can remap your drama. We can take care of that. Are you ready? And she's like, if you're not ready, you have to be ready. I said, think about what it is that I'm going to do. and think about how great you're going to feel afterwards. And then let's schedule some time for me to remap your trauma. Right. And it's just a beautiful thing.
I
It's,
love that.
yeah,
One
it's
of
just
my best friends, she calls it like a barbed wire blanket or jacket, a barbed wire jacket. You're like, no, you should take that off. You're bleeding. You're like, no, but it's warm.
right, but it fits.
Yeah,
Those
but you're
little prickies fit into
bleeding.
holes. They
You're
fit
really
perfectly.
exactly.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Now this
it's
this
kind
is
of
how you're
scary.
supposed to feel, right?
We're so used to it, right?
We're
What would
so
we
used to
be
it.
if we didn't have that jacket on?
You
We didn't.
know, and it was really, really interesting. I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, so I'm not a young lady, and there are chronic lower back aches, ulcers, migraines, um, gout, arthritis, varicose veins. All of those, by the way, are gone. They're all
Amazing.
gone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What have I done? Nothing, really. Right? Other than I have been working on myself because I am an empowerment master coach. I work on myself so I show up clearly, and every wall that comes down clears something in my body,
Yeah.
right? And without even having to know what it is, though I do know what all my traumas are.
Yeah, I love that it's so powerful. And I share that with people all the time. Like, you wouldn't believe how good my life is. I mean, I look like the same old Jenny that I always did, but how I feel like a completely new person from the inside. And it's not because, again, it's not because I'm trying to be different. It's because I am different, because I reprogram my subconscious. And like you said, it controls us about 95% of the time. So it's impossible to feel different if you're not changing at that cellular level of the subconscious.
Right. And this is where, so I'm going to step into the corporate side because that's my original roots. That's where corporate training programs don't work. I used to say, oh, so you're going to send me away for another week on communication, and we're all going to come back from that, and we'll have these key words that we're supposed to say to one another so that we understand and communicate better, and that'll last about a week.
Right.
Okay, sure. Let's go do it. Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know what, Gail? The corporate world is about to get rocked because I have a new corporate program that I'm rolling out fourth quarter. And oh my gosh, I'm going to bring in this transformation to corporations, and I'm so excited for it.
It's time.
Yeah,
It's
they're
time.
ready.
It's time. I will tell you that it's been time for a while,
Yeah,
right? Big business, you're imploding. And if you don't step into the soft side, you're done.
right.
You're done. And I see corporations panicking now. So that's what happens when change, chaos happens. There's
Yeah,
a panic sets in,
yeah.
right? And there are things like big companies are saying, we saw it with Elon Musk. Okay, you guys, you've been working remotely. You have to come into the office. Why? There are
Mm-hmm.
two reasons, right? Money and money.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I am spending money on this building and there's nobody sitting in the seats.
yeah.
So I can't be creative enough to figure out what to do with the building. So I need you to sit in that seat. And oops, we're over budget. So I need to lay you off. So before I lay you off, I'm going to force you to come in the office. You're going to say no and you're going to quit. So I don't have to lay you off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what's going on with corporate. They're still looking at things from the dollar sign, but there's an underlying state of panic
Yeah.
because change is happening.
Right. And
Change is happening.
it's difficult to adjust. I just renewed my office lease in February. And how often do I see clients in my office? Maybe once a week. Is that worth paying for an office? No, but it's like that same old paradigm, right? Oh, COVID's mostly over. They're going to want to come back. Not
No,
necessarily.
not really. So I used to live in San Diego and I had an office at Pacific Beach. I mean, It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was great.
Yeah.
And again, once a week, I would be in the office,
Yeah.
not even for more than 2 hours, right?
Yes.
For that one or two client that wanted a face-to-face.
Yeah.
And finally, and I shared it, with someone, and we looked at each other and said, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
This is, yes, it's a beautiful space, but this is ridiculous.
Right.
Right. So we got rid of the lease because it was crazy to even do that. So I joined a co-working place, and I rented a room when I needed to see someone face to face once in a while, and that made sense.
Perfect. Perfect.
Right.
I was just looking at the time. I don't know how it's gone so fast, but if we have time, I want to share a couple other things. One is about the 17-second rule, and one is about the 3 secrets to reprogramming the mind. Do I
Oh,
have
let's please
jump
do.
into that?
Please do.
Okay, cool. So the 17-second rule I learned from Dr. Jeffrey Fannin. He's a neuroscientist who I hired to do brain studies on the transformation process that I created called Summit Transformation. And he taught me that a thought is just an electrical signal in the brain. That's it for about 17 seconds. But if it goes longer than 17 seconds, the thought you're having, it turns into a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel equal to the way you're thinking. As soon as you feel equal to the way you're thinking, your brain attracts like thoughts to prove to you why the story you're telling yourself and how you're feeling is accurate. And once that goes on for about 68 seconds, it changes your energy field. And I'm sure you know that before the law of manifestation is the law of vibration. If you want something that's vibrating at this level and you're here, you can't get it. But if you can raise your vibration, you can't not get it. It's coming to you, right? And so I love the 17-second rule because psychologists say we have 50 to 80,000 thoughts per day, and about 80% negative and about 90% a repeat of yesterday, which makes perfect sense why today feels a lot like yesterday and last week and last month and last year, because we're just kind of repeating the same thoughts and feelings. So the trick now is to catch yourself if you're having a thought that you don't like, that you don't want to manifest, that you don't want to be your reality, you've got to stop it before 17 seconds or it will become your reality. But here's the trick. We've got so many thoughts, right? 50 to 80,000. It's going to be like a ping pong game.
Right.
Stop, start, no, don't. Yeah, over here, or right? It's kind of crazy. So that's where the 3 secrets come in. And the first secret is that you have 2 minds. And we talked briefly about this today, but you have a conscious and a subconscious mind. And that subconscious is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind, according to PhD Bruce Lipton, cellular biologist. 1,000,000 times more powerful. So when we're trying to achieve a goal or solve a problem, wouldn't it make more sense to use a mind that's 1,000,000 times more powerful and automatic instead of a conscious mind that only works when we focus on something and is easily distracted, which is why most diets don't work for people, right?
That's
They're
called the
trying,
squirrel
trying,
syndrome. The squirrel.
they're off track. The donut, how to get in my mouth. Oh my gosh. What happened, right? Starting next week. Yeah. So that you've got to focus on that subconscious mind if you want real change. That's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is that your subconscious was programmed from literally in utero till about 7 or 8 years old. Your brain was in a theta state, taking in everything you experienced as its program. For example, whatever language was spoken in your house is the language you learned. Your parents don't speak English and you speak Chinese. I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? You learn what's there. But it's not only the language you're speaking, it's the money language, the relationship language, the health language, etc., which is why they say that kids who are adopted develop the same diseases that run in the family. They're not related. How does that happen? They learn it. Right? It's epigenetics. It's above the gene. So secret number 2 is you were programmed. And like you said, you can have a pity party for 30 seconds because it's mom and dad's fault, grandma and grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, neighbors, schools, church, community. But thankfully, there's secret number 3, which is you can change your program. And that's new information that we can change our subconscious program. You can change your program to be whatever you want it to be. So in the process that I use, we come up with a goal statement, how we want our life to be, and we literally program that belief into our subconscious mind. And then we set an action plan to help solidify that new neural pathway in that brain, that new belief. And then we track our clients' progress, every goal, every session. We have about the last 400 clients tracked on our website. You can see their results. And most of them report about a 50% improvement within a week on their goal. I mean, that's crazy. And that's not because I'm so good or my team's so good. It's because the power of the subconscious mind is a million times more powerful. So as soon as you start to pull that mind in, that's when your life completely transforms. So for your listeners today, I would love to give them a video where they can do these brain exercises so that they can change their life. Is that all right if I share a link?
Yeah, is this the Balance You, or I've got a whole bunch of links here that you sent to me, which will be in the bottom.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is balanceyou.org
Yes.
/Jenny.
Yes.
That's where you can download the free video on how to change their brain.
Yep. And I'm going to go take a look at it myself, folks,
Oh,
because
yes.
I'm always open to learning new
Yes.
techniques, new processes, and new ways to help myself as well as my clients.
Awesome.
So I was going to ask Jenny, how can they get in touch with you? But there you go. And we have, I will be sharing in the link when I send this out, your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and the Balance You, that free gift that you're offering to everybody.
They're going to find me easy.
They're going to find you easy. You're going to see people popping all over the place, all over the place.
But even better, they're going to change their life, right? That's the most important thing. And that's the message I want to leave with you today. From what I've experienced in my life when I was stuck for so many decades and mad, bad, sad, and in pain. That was my life, right? And how did I turn it all around? How is my marriage now? Like the first 20 years miserable, the next 7 years blissful, literally. I interviewed my husband on a Zoom call the other day and I said, how much better is it? And he said, north of 100%. And I said, how many times is it backslid? And he said, 0. Why? Because I'm a different person, because I changed my brain to be the way I wanted it to be all this time, all those affirmations, I programmed them in, and now I just am that way. And gosh, what a better way to be. Happy, loving, forgiving, understanding, calm, patient. Oh, I never used to be any of them.
And Jenny, the funny thing is, and if anyone knew me even 3 years ago, because this is a process, right? It doesn't stop because things keep coming up.
Right.
You're right. I don't even know who I am, right? I just know that I am nothing at all like the person that, stepped into adulthood when I was 21, or stepped into parenthood when I was 25, or stepped into corporate, higher level corporate when I was 30, right? I am not that person or those people at all. I can't even imagine wanting the resistance that I felt during that life. And that's the gift, right, Jenny, is the resistance is gone.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know. I want everybody to find it. I want everybody to have it, right?
Absolutely.
It's possible.
Freedom is there.
It's free. Freedom is there. And it's without drugs, and it's without alcohol, because all that does is it's a coping mechanism that hides, like you with the pain pills. It just hides what's going on and creates its own issues.
Of course.
So thank you so much, Jenny. This was so well worth waiting for.
Thanks, Gail. It's great being here with you today.
This was so much fun. And again, this is Gail Kraft from the Empowering Process podcast. And for sure, check Jenny out. If you like this, let us know. If you have questions, please comment. We might get back together and answer those questions. If you know someone who could benefit from this, share it out to it. Let them know that this is here for them. That's what we're all about. Thank you. Bye-bye, Jenny.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Empowering Process podcast. Be sure to visit Gail at gailcraft.com to learn more about how she serves thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and goal seekers. And remember, if you like this broadcast, be sure to share and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.